All right, so you guys are just going to get the straight truth today, and some of you guys are not going to be happy at all. We're going to have no fluff, no BS, nothing else like that. I'm not even going to talk about my group until the end, nothing like that. Just straight truth and facts for you guys. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting a whole ton of truth thrown at you all at once. All right, so here's some truths about my investing and me being bearish specifically on certain stocks, some truths in general about investing in any stock. And remember, this comes from 25 years of experience in the stock market, actively investing in individual stocks. If you choose to take this to heart, hopefully it makes you a better investor and helps you see it from a little bit of a different angle. And if not, hey, guess what? I totally get it. I understand. I might not be right for you. I totally understand that completely. So there's nothing there. I'm just trying to give you guys as much truth as I can here. Like I said, some of you guys are gonna like this, some of you guys aren't gonna like it at all, but it's the truth, so let's get rolling. Number one, I've never shorted anything. The number of times I get told that I'm short a stock in a week is just, it's hilarious. There's so many comments that come at me like that, and that's okay. But the truth is, I have never shorted a stock before, ever. Never actually done it. It's a losing game to me. You're playing against a rigged market that's rigged to go up. It just doesn't make any sense. Even if I know a stock is going to fall because of a lot of different factors, you got to get the timing right in order for the short to actually work. And the chances of getting the timing right of that is incredibly hard. So for me, I stay far, far away from any sort of shorting activity whatsoever. So anybody telling me I'm a short is comical because I'm just never even going, I don't even do bullish option plays, much less bearish option plays of all things. It makes absolutely no sense to my investing. I'm strictly a buy and hold investor in the end. I actually rarely sell stocks. Ask my group, ask other folks who are, if you just watch the channel for any length of time, I rarely sell out of anything. If anything, I'm guilty of holding on to them for too long at the back end of it if something's going awry. So to say I'm a short is just wrong, and it's not the truth at all. Number two, I'm not paid by any hedge fund or anyone else for that matter. Look, let me make something very clear. There is not a single hedge fund owner, CEO out there, executive out there who even knows who I am in the first place, much less be willing to pay me to do something like that. It is a complete waste of those hedge funds' money, and we'll talk about why here in a little bit further down in my list, but it's a complete waste of their money to ever pay a guy like me in the first place. That's the first point. Second point, I would never take the money anyways. There's no reason to. I know that it does go on that, and I get offers, trust me, from folks, especially really more during 2021. I got a lot of offers to pump a lot of different things that were complete and total trash. That's the first thing. But I turned it all down because I didn't make my money influencing people. I didn't make the money with YouTube or, my group or anything else like that. It's not where it all came from. So why in a world would I sacrifice all these years, decades of integrity, building businesses, building up real estate portfolios and stock portfolios to all of a sudden just take money from hedge funds to say something that is absolutely 100% counterintuitive to A, what I believe as an investor, and B, would call into question my actual integrity that I built up over 25 years. I got it. Influencers operate underneath a different set of rules and they tend to view it a little bit differently than I do. And I'm not here to debate whether that's right or wrong. Not my job. Hey, you guys can debate it out there. I understand both sides of the equation because I've talked to other influencers who have shown me another side of the equation. But for me, it's just simply not right, period. That's the end of the story. So I wouldn't take the money even if it was offered to me. Number three, I'm conservative in my estimates. All right, look, part of the reason why I've been successful in investing over the past 25 years is because I have never seen a reason. Actually, let me go all the way back. When I first started investing at the height of the tech bubble, yeah, I know I'm a little bit old here, guys, but kind of in that whole run up, that right there, I made every mistake everybody else made back then. Every mistake that everybody made in 2021, I made way back then in 1998 or so. That was a mistake. So I know from experience, and although the money that I lost back then was, pennies in hindsight now, but back then it was a lot of money for me. I know pie in the sky projections do nothing but screw you in the end. So for me, it makes absolutely no sense to come on here and give you guys pie in the sky projections either. I've said it repeatedly, I don't need to predict out to 2030 because past a year or two, everything is murky and out to 2030 is 100% a guess. It's a complete waste of my time. Might be a fun exercise to do, but anything beyond that is a total waste. So any sort of projection out that far is strictly speculating. And remember, like I said in the last point, I'm not an influencer by trade per se, so I don't care that if I give all these crazy projections, I would get more likes, I'd get more subs. A lot of folks would, quote unquote, enjoy my videos better. All those sort of things like that. There's no need for that sort of stuff because that's what the pumpers do. And we all saw exactly how they screwed you guys way back in 2021 when everything was poop tokens and penny stocks and all this other ridiculous stuff like that. Maybe there's, I don't know, there's trades there, I'm sure. But in the end, as a long-term buy and hold investor, that's not how you make money. I want you to grow your wealth, and I want to build an audience, even if it's slower, showing how you actually build wealth, or at least the way that I did it. Not saying my way is perfect or the only way or anything else like that, but to do anything else beyond exactly what I do here and being conservative in those estimates is absolutely being disingenuous to you guys as my audience. I love my audience right here. I love the fact that you guys want realistic projections. You guys want the truth on what's going on, even if it doesn't always make you happy. I don't want a channel full of folks who are just into lottery investing and just looking for the next 10x stock this day, and then tomorrow another 10x stock, and then tomorrow another 10x stock. Honestly, that doesn't appeal to me at all. I don't even know how to make content for those types of folks. And I don't want to attract those type folks because those are the folks that, to me, are not into investing and building wealth over the long term. Now, I'm not saying that I'm right all the time or it's the only way to invest or anything else like that. Actually, the quite opposite is true. I make mistakes. I make bad stock picks. And yes, sometimes my stocks don't do well at all. I'm just completely wrong periodically. Agree completely there. It's out there. It's in public. My group members know it. You guys know it here on YouTube. That's cool. But at least I was being conservative when I made those mistakes, so that way those mistakes didn't hurt as hard as other mistakes that are made whenever you're basing it on sky high projections and craziness like that instead of being conservative. Number 4, not being ultra bullish does not mean I'm a bear either. Look, I own Tesla, Palantir, and SoFi. I think all those stocks are great. I am bullish on all 3 of those stocks long term. You might see each one of those stocks as a 10x stock in a year or 2. You might very well be that, and I might very well see them as only a 10% gainer over the next year. We could have those completely different views. You know, you're seeing a 10x in the next year or 2. I'm only seeing a 10% gain each year for the next couple of years. But that doesn't mean that I'm bearish on the stock just because I'm not ultra bullish like you are on that other side. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely, I could be. Just as easily as you could be wrong as well. That's absolutely possible as well. But for me, if I'm wrong, I'm still very happy because that means I was expecting 10% and I got a 10x. Now flip that on the other side. If you're expecting a 10x and all of a sudden that stock, only gives you that 10, 20% or whatever the number is, my guess is you're not nearly as happy as I am with everything falling out that way. And I've seen this over and over and over again over 25 years where because it didn't meet your sky high projections or other folks' sky high projections, you basically sell the stock because basically it's flat. Maybe it went down. Maybe you only got that 10%, whatever the number is. And then you missed out on the 10x that happened the very next year. That happens repeatedly in the stock market. Ask the Tesla investors who were in that stock in 2014, 15, 16, and they finally just got sick and frustrated and tired, and Elon's never going to turn this around, just to sell out, and then bang, Tesla goes on its epic run and it's 10xing all over the place. Everyone is different, I agree completely, but for me, I prefer to be conservative and set myself up for win-win scenarios. I don't want to set myself up for failure, especially mentally, because we all know the mental part, the emotional part, is the hardest part of this game. The work is easy, figuring out valuations is easy in the end. A lot of things are easy. The hard part is keeping those emotions in check. And for me, I have found being ultra bullish introduces a lot of emotions into your investing, a lot more. And just simply because I'm not ultra bullish on a particular stock does not mean that you are bearish either. I know that's contrary to what a lot of folks out there say on YouTube, but it's the absolute truth. I can be bullish on a stock. You can be bullish on a stock, despite the fact you think it's going to 10x and I think it's only going to go up 10%. Those are both bullish narratives for a stock over the long term. And number 5, it's laughable that anyone thinks I can move markets. Maybe a penny stock I can move. I guess I could at that stage, but to think I can move Tesla stock is absolutely laughable, guys. There are millions upon millions of shares traded every single day. And although I have a great audience, it is very large in nature on YouTube world. Obviously, there's folks a lot larger than me, so I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying I'm big or anything like that. But to think I can move a Tesla or a SoFi or a Palantir is just laughable. I do not have that sort of influence unless all of you guys out there are all billionaires, I guess. Maybe there's a few billionaires out there that follow my channel. I doubt it highly. But beyond a scenario like that, I don't move markets. Me not liking Tesla's earnings has absolutely no material bearing on what happens to Tesla stock the next day. Even if somebody paid me, like we discussed earlier, to be bearish on Tesla and tell my whole audience to dump it, I doubt very seriously we're moving a $600 billion market cap stock anytime soon. Hey, don't get me wrong. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But I mean, that's just a fact of life in terms of these numbers and other things like that. I have no influence over where stocks are going to move and where they're going to go over the long term, especially you get in these mega cap and larger cap stocks to where it takes a guy like Warren Buffett, he can move a stock. Myself, not even a chance, not even in the ballpark. Here is the bottom line with everything, guys. I am bullish on the stocks that I am buying when I come on here and I tell you guys that I like to own PayPal. I like to own Tesla. I like SoFi. I like Palantir. I am bullish on all of those. However, if one of them gets overvalued, I'm going to tell you the truth about that. That to me is fundamental to my channel, is to tell you guys the truth. I'm sorry, when Tesla was at 400, I was not being bearish on Tesla because I said it was going to trade down or flat for a couple of years. I was giving you guys the truth that 1,000 PE is absolutely ridiculous, and no amount of earnings growth that they were having, and they were having incredible earnings at the time, could make up for that 1,000 PE. It wasn't going to happen, so we took a lot of those gains out of the stock. I didn't say sell it. I wasn't bearish on Tesla long term at all. I was simply giving you guys the truth about what was going on with that stock. The same exact thing with Palantir when it was having crazy run-ups, during its period of time where they were trying to turn profitability, and it just seemed like it would go on these, runs up for no good reason other than it would just get hyped up and go. And it was just like, yeah, guys, guess what? It's coming back down. I'm sorry. I think it's a little bit overvalued right now. It had nothing to do with being bearish on Palantir. It had everything to do with, hey, that's the reality of the stock market and how it's going to work. And until they turn that profitability knob, which they did eventually, and now we saw actual data and actual valuation moving the stock forward, there was no need to just tell you whenever it ran up to $13, $14, $15 that, yeah, it's just going to 25 right now. I'm not talking about today whenever it got up there. I'm talking about a year and a half ago whenever we had these runs and there was no reason for these runs. And sure enough, it would come right back down. It was just all these narratives that we just discussed. Those were the exact things and the exact comments that I was putting out there. So trying to be honest with you guys, trying to give you guys the truth about all this sort of stuff so that way you can be better investors. And if this appealed to you at all and you want to take your investing to the next level, the huge sale that we have going on right now where you get free group coaching and we also offer one-on-one coaching and the new completely awesome stock course can all be taken advantage of underneath this sale, underneath one umbrella with your membership, where you also get direct access to me. You get to be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord out there. I put out multiple videos there that never make their way onto YouTube. You can talk to me anytime you want. We just had our first coaching session over the weekend and it was awesome. The feedback, all the feedback I've gotten from it was just awesome. We have so many folks in there making you guys better investors. Check out the pinned comment down there and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.